welcome to Let Them Talk. I'm Paul DiRienzo, and we have a great show in store for you as usual again. Joining me is the adventurous, radical, lovely, and many more adjectives, Patricia Okoumou. Welcome to Let Them Talk. It's an honor to have you on the show.
It is my pleasure to be on the show.
And we have behind us the photograph, the famous photograph where you climbed onto the Statue of Liberty to make a statement about the Trump administration seizing children at the border, families and children, and separating them and putting children in cages.
Yes.
As you brought out so well. Mm-hmm. So I'm so glad to have you on, and it's a serious reason that's bringing us together because you actually have to go on trial.
Yes.
For the charges that arose from climbing onto the Statue of Liberty, and that trial is in federal court because the Statue of Liberty is federal property, and that's going to be on Monday, December 17th.
That's correct.
Right, at 500 Pearl Street. Right, 500 Pearl Street.
Southern District Court of Manhattan.
Right, as federal court, and be there. You're going to be at 9 as the trial starts, so everybody should be there at 8 because they make you stand on line and go through the whole security procedure, right? And then you can get into the courtroom and show support for Patricia Okoumou. And I think you all should be showing support for Patricia.
Yes.
She did an amazing thing. She's a very courageous person. And you can see her sitting up there with the officer there. Tell us, we're going to talk a lot about a lot of things, but let's begin, Patricia, by asking you what it was like. How did you climb to that position? How is it possible to do that? I know people ask you that all the time, but let's get it over with.
Let's get it over with. I would like to do that. Well, I like to go by saying that it was by the grace of God, because it takes a lot of courage, boldness, guts. You know, there's this adrenaline that rushes through inside your body. And I had to remain calm to remind myself this is possible. And it was for a good cause. So I started by circling. You know, I was there with Rise and Resist. And we had tickets, just like regular folks. There were people on the ground who were not involved in direct actions. The people who were wearing letterings, T-shirts that says, abolish ICE. And there were people which I joined up on the pedestal, well, on the railing where we unfurled the banner, who were directly involved in civil disobedience. I just didn't want to get arrested. I made that clear. It was one of those things, you know, when it's time to negotiate, you slip away. And I managed to do that, to slip away just in time. So then I went up, circled around a little bit. By that time, the NYPD chopper, the helicopter, was circling as well. And I was waiting for them to go away before I start my climb, because I knew if I did it in front of them, they would see it. It wouldn't be wise. But I was surprised. First, there were no cameras to see what I was doing. To my surprise, the park police officer, not police officer, park ranger or staff was there at first telling me to get down, because I had started climbing through the fence first. It's a structure that looks like a fence, and it was free fall. You know, you just had to maintain your balance and your spirituality, be calm, like I said, and then take it to the next level. So the next level was to cling, just jump to the statue using my fingertips and my toe tips while this person is telling me, come back here. You know, this is a part I don't really talk about because my case is still pending. It's a criminal matter, and the prosecutor could use it against me. So
you don't want to do that. That's fine. You don't have to tell too much. We all saw it, and you can see the picture right there for everybody to see. So how long were you up there for?
3.5 hours. I had a watch with me. Right. I think I started at 3:25, and by the time I was brought down, it was about 7 o'clock.
I see. And the officers were pretty nice. They weren't...
They came nicely, and they remained the same throughout the whole process. Mm-hmm. Unlike what happened in France,
Yeah, we're
just
gonna get to that.
recently.
Yes, unlike what happened in France just recently. Now, there's rioting going on in France, so people might not know all the things that are going on in France. Besides all the rioting against Macron and his decisions and the bad economy there and how people are just fed up with the style of life in France, and they're having revolutions everywhere.
Yes.
France having a
They're
revolution.
burning Paris.
We're burning. Paris is burning again, yet again. All right, so we know that the French people are a very freedom-loving people and a rebellious people when they get it in their minds to be that. Anyway. And but that's not what we're focusing on. The Statue of Liberty is connected to the Eiffel Tower. You know that historically. Right?
Yes.
The same person designed both of them.
Oh, that I didn't know.
Yeah, Eiffel.
That's
right?
interesting.
Yeah, I think it's pretty much the same person designed both of them. I'm pretty sure, okay?
Okay.
Send me emails and texts if I got it wrong, but I'm pretty sure it was the same person,
Okay.
right? They're definitely connected at the same time. They were built at the same time. And, of course, the Statue of Liberty is a gift from France to the United States.
Yes.
Lady
That's
Liberty.
why I went up there. I wanted to take this course worldwide by starting with France, Paris particularly, because I have some relatives there. I have been wanting to go to Texas for a long time. That has been my goal since the Independence Day, because that's where the problems are at the border. But if you don't have a connection, I've never been to Texas before, it wouldn't be wise to do something like that.
Yeah.
I have been told there are certain areas to avoid. So I've been asking for funds. It was safe for me to just go to Paris and climb the Eiffel Tower.
I see. I'm just double checking to make sure somebody's not telling me I was wrong. I think to be all right.
I'm sure you're right.
All right.
Yes.
So, okay, so now you speak French.
Oui.
Where did you grow up?
In Republic of Congo. I'm glad you asked because people get it wrong all the time.
Right, I want to ask you to get it right because
Republic of Congo, not
Congo is
GRC.
used, yeah. There's two countries. One,
Yes.
you're the little one, not the big
Yes.
one. Right?
That's exactly. I'm the
Right.
French one, not the Belgian one.
Right, the French one, not the Belgian one. And and French is sort of the second language there, I imagine, or the language of business and things like that.
It's French is the first language there.
Really?
Yes,
So that was the first language you learned was French?
correct. We speak French at home. In school, it's required.
I see, right. So part of growing up. So where did you learn English? May I ask?
In school, at a certain point, you start learning British English, which is just basic, very basic.
Right,
Boy,
no slang.
girl, no slang.
No slang.
Then I decided to go to an American school at the embassy on my own when I was about 17 or 18. And I took a course for 9 months and graduated. I loved it. I mean, I was impressed when I went to a high-level program or course, and they were watching the news. I was like, these people are watching this news and they understand it. It was interesting.
Great. So you climbed. So how was your? Let me ask more a little bit about your personal life. Let me pry a little bit. How did you grow up in your homeland? I mean, were you middle class, lower class, upper class? What was it?
I would say upper class. I was one of those kids who had money in their pockets, and they were oblivious to how much money they had.
Right.
It dawned on me one time when sometimes I would feed my friends, not knowing I'm actually doing a great service to my community. I didn't know they were starving. I just happened to buy myself lunch, and they were right there with me with no money, and I bought them lunch. And one time I'm pulling money out of my pocket, and the teachers look at each other like this, like, wow, she's loaded. My dad always gave me money. If I cry, he gave me money.
That's nice. I have a father like that.
He was the president's pilot, airline pilot.
Oh, I see.
That was his career.
Okay, so you get to travel around a lot when you're.
He did. Yes, I wish I did.
Right. Very interesting.
Yes.
So let's talk about the Eiffel Tower. So you were when were you in Paris? When did this occur? How long ago?
I wanted to do something on Thanksgiving, similar to the 4th of July. I had a banner that's 4 feet, 20 feet. I could be wrong, but just by 3
20
feet,
feet long, 4 feet
20
wide.
feet for sure,
Yeah.
or 3 feet, 20 feet, exactly. And it says, Christopher Columbus didn't discover America, and it has colors of our flag, and it says abolish ICE as the hashtag, and hashtag return the children. I bought my ticket to get to the top, but it was foggy once we got up there. It wouldn't make sense. It was chilly because it's winter.
Yeah.
And I decided to come down one more level in the middle, and then start my climb from there. And it was successful.
How far did you get up?
Oh, I went up.
All the way to the top?
All the way to the top.
And
if you look at the structure, the middle is where people gather and they eat, there's gift shopping, sightseeing, and then the top is, I think, has windows. And one of those binoculars, whatever they call them.
Yeah, you put like a few centimes in
Yes. You couldn't see anything. It was foggy. So when I got to the middle, I went to the top. But it's a structure that blocks you. You can get to further than that.
Sure.
So
yeah,
okay.
Go ahead. Tell me more. Tell me more. I'm going to get some more.
Yeah, it's exciting. So I'm having people telling me, are you deaf? Can you hear us? Do you speak English? Do you speak French?
No.
Are you from here? They're just trying to talk to me. I have this backpack. You would think I look like a terrorist. But nobody, thank you, nobody thought that because they didn't treat me like a terrorist.
So what happened when you got there? The police were waiting for you? The gendarmes?
No, on Thanksgiving, I managed to take my time and unfold my banner, attach my banner from the outside. So I was outside of the Eiffel Tower. I came out of the public area, climbed up, upside down first, like a Spider-Man, and then up, back and forth, tying knotting and the ropes and tying it up. I have pictures to show you.
I'd love to see them. And then so you hung the banner down from there.
Yes,
right?
completely.
And remind us what the banner said again?
The first part says, Christopher Columbus did not discover America. I wanted to boycott Thanksgiving because I couldn't boycott Columbus Day for some reason. I don't know where I was. Maybe I didn't have the funding for the band. Thank you. That was the whole purpose.
Yeah.
Christopher Columbus did not discover America. Hashtag abolish ICE, and ICE is Immigration Custom Enforcement. The people behind the children in the concentration camps.
Yeah.
And then the last part is the famous hashtag that I use, return the children.
Hashtag return the children. So people should know that right there.
Yes, look it up.
Great. So tell me more about the response. I mean, did you leave? Did you get to walk away under power?
Paul, they sent a professional climber. This guy was not kidding. He came full force, chasing me. And so we're inside the Eiffel Tower like a maze, in and out of it. I'm doing Spider-Man, he's doing Spider-Man right behind me. I'm going in, and at some point I'm hiding, like I have managed to escape, gotten my body, a small body, through metal gates or whatever they call them, beams.
Yeah, the beams.
The beams, and it's dusty. You think rats live there or pigeons gather there, but it's not. I'm not thinking of all of that. I'm here for a reason. And people are watching at that point. The Eiffel Tower was evacuated. The fire trucks were there, about 3 or 4 of them. There was an ambulance waiting for me.
In case you fell down, right?
No.
Okay, well, what happened when the police finally got you? And I want you to show me your wound.
Oh, yes. They were brutal. This is
I'm going to just show this to the camera. Let's see if we can see. There is a wound, and how did you get that wound?
They handcuffed me so tight. Not only that, they handcuffed my feet, and they had a belt around my chest, which they were pulling from back, really tight. Each time they pulled that belt, they were tightening my chest, compression. Really? And then if you look at my picture, I have scarf because I was protecting myself from the cold. That scarf suffocated me.
Oh, really?
I thought I was going to die.
All right. Because it was tied around you with the chains and everything. Huh?
And they were pulling it.
Right.
Right? They
Oh, my
were
God.
carrying me while I was in handcuffs behind my back down the stairs. They were kicking my neck. They put the feet on my neck like this and just press as far as they could to shut me up. And one officer went too far. He had his hand on my windpipe. And I had to calm down because the more I was screaming, the more they were not hearing me and they were getting more violent and brutal.
Mm-hmm.
This particular officer, I had to calm down, use a different tone that they could hear. And I said, sir, what you are doing is trying to kill me on purpose. Vous êtes lâche, in French meaning you're a coward.
Mm-hmm.
And it embarrassed him in front of his colleagues, and he stopped. I say, do everything else. There's 20 guys here with one woman. What are you doing using that kind of violence? You trying to kill me on purpose? And there was a female officer who took away the scarf and all the layers I had around my neck. Yeah. I had several layers. For that point, I was able to breathe, but it was brutal. They carried me down the stairs. I was like, oh my God, stop, oh my God. Be gentle. And they took me to what looks like a precinct. They had no intention, Paul, of arresting me or pressing charges or deporting me. None of that happened. They were just recording the event. Like, what happened? Why were you there? Who are you? And looking up my information. So I gave them a letter which I had addressed to Emmanuel Macron on August 3rd in front of the press here in the U.S. when I went back to court, to the federal court. The press, unfortunately, instead of focusing on my message, they focused on my dress, which said, why don't you, something about Melania Trump's stupid jacket that she wore.
Right. That's a famous picture of you. It's I do care.
I do care. She doesn't.
Right. She said, I don't care, and your dress says, I do care.
I said, I care. Why don't you care? And on my butt, it says, be best, hashtag be best. It was unintentional. My designer, we work on, I wanted the dress, I wanted the message, but it happened to be on my butt. And it was a criticism of her, be best my ass. Like, you're trying to fool us, you can't fool us. We know you wore that jacket to the detention center because you didn't care about the children. She didn't care about the children.
You're talking about Melania Trump,
yes.
Right? She wore that. That's what she was saying. So you're saying the opposite.
Right.
You do care about the children by wearing a dress that says, I do care on the back.
Yes.
A much better fashion statement.
Yes, and a better dress.
Right.
More expensive.
Beautiful dress. All right, good. And all right, so, and then they just released you?
They took me to 3 different psych wards that night.
Oh, they took you to the psych ward. I thought this is a country that was used to demonstrations. It's
Nepotism law. We are common law. They're Nepotism law.
Oh, right.
Because we have mass incarceration and they don't.
Right?
Napoleon.
Right.
And I assume if we have mass incarceration and they don't, it's because they have a different way of handling.
You're guilty until proven innocent there. And here you're innocent until proven guilty, which in a weird way makes it easier for them to put you away here because it's like considered more minor. Mm-hmm. And then we're just checking you out or waiting, and then we'll let you go on bail or something like that.
Yes.
But there, if you get arrested, it's serious business, so they don't like to arrest you.
That's right.
If you didn't really do anything bad.
That's what I imagine. So but because it
Louisiana is like that too.
Is it?
Yeah, you can drink. You can drink and drive there, but don't get in an accident.
Oh wow.
Yeah, you can drink and drive there. I know you're guilty. You're
until you do something.
Until you do something, right? Exactly.
So I go to a psych ward, and then after another and another, they drug me, and I'm drugged for 3-4 days.
Really?
From the 22nd Thanksgiving to Monday the 26th, which was when my plane was supposed to take me back to New York. And so they come and wake me up because the whole time I'm sleeping. They tell me, be careful when you're getting up, you don't get dizzy, take your time, we're going to eat. I eat breakfast, and I don't want to watch TV. I go back to sleep. So at some point, and it wasn't medical, Paul. It was more like they don't take your blood pressure. They don't care about your health. Because the first one took my blood pressure. Because I have to go back a little bit. I said I wanted a lawyer. You kidding us? You think this is America, you can ask for a lawyer? We don't work like that. Tell us what's on the banner, what does it say, and why were you there? Interrogations.
Oh, like translated to us into French, so we...
Yes. Yeah. I mean, some of them spoke English, but they wanted to hear it from my mouth.
Right.
So that's the first time when I say I wanted a lawyer and I wanted a doctor, they took my blood pressure and realized my blood sugar was very low. They offered me bread, and I'm like, I'm not eating. I want to go. Please release me now. And they tried, and when they couldn't get their way, they took me at that point to a second psych ward or medical place. From there, the second and the third one never took my blood pressure or temperature or anything. It was interrogation, and they were serious. I was in a straitjacket because I told the police, the driver and 2 officers in a van, I don't want to go to the hospital. You can take me into custody if you want, but I'm not going to the hospital. I'm not crazy. I had a banner. I was protesting. There's no need to take me to a psych ward. They said, are you going? Do you want what happened at the Eiffel Tower? Do you want to fight again? I said, bring it on. So the doctor comes to me. They try a nicer tactic when they couldn't get their way because I said, it's my body. I don't want to be here. Please release me into the police custody. They say, it's either the easy way or the hard way, whatever that expression is. And both of them ganged me. They just got on top of me. It was the Eiffel Tower all over again, like they promised. The straitjacket came. This time, I was in a stretcher. I found myself in a room like this with 4 walls, on the bed with my arms tied like this and my neck tied to the hands. It was an uncomfortable position, unnatural. I'm here, and they put a needle on me, a syringe. What do you call that? They injected me. I must have fallen asleep because all I remember is they were long gone. There was this silence. And when I woke up, I'm like, okay, I can take this position. It wasn't that it was too tight. This arm was hurting badly. It suffered most. That's why you see the bruises. My shoulder was hurting. And this unnatural position, it was chilly in the room. And I started asking for help. Help! Aidez-moi! Is anybody there? Can you help me? They ignore me. And I started screaming some more. Please, I'm serious. I'm hurting. I can't be in this position. It's chilly. Then they come and they say, well, first they tell me, let me know if I'm being too detailed.
No, it's great. Well, we only have 5. You know, we're at. We only have 4 minutes left.
Okay.
So it's amazing, and I don't want to ever cut you off for talking about this, but we have the tyranny of the French police and the tyranny of the clock.
Yes.
It sounds like the French police are worse. So tell us what's happening on Monday, December 17th, 500 Pearl Street, Southern District Federal Court at 8 a.m. What's happening?
So I go back to court. This is a trial, folks, and I'm serious. Some people, the reason I'm here on your show is to remind everybody that it's not over. I get the sense that people think it was over a long time ago and they've moved on. I need a lot of support. Any support you can bring me. Just think of me as a woman that inspired you, if I did inspire you on that day.
Right.
I did sacrifice my life for justice.
Here I'll make some room, so I want people to see the picture behind us. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, yes. And so I want you to come. I want you to bring signs that say Free Patricia. I want you to go to my website, patriciaokoumou.com, to see what is that I'm talking about.
Patricia Okoumou, Okoumou.
.com, that's correct. I have a GoFundMe account. I have a petition going on. I set up myself so that I even have a P.O. box.
What is it?
It's Patricia Okoumou, P.O. Box 160, Staten Island, New York, 10301. So people can write to me.
Okay,
yes. I made some business card that a photographer came from Rhode Island to Staten Island, took this beautiful picture of me by the water, and made me business cards and postcards.
Yeah.
So I'm able to communicate with people. There's no reason for me to not know who you are. So for those who had been tweeting about me on that day, talking about me, occupying airspace to talk about my story, here I am alive, not dead, saying, please reach out. I did my best to reach out to folks, and I've been very busy, Paul.
What does your headband say?
Truth is truth.
Truth is truth.
Yes.
Right, very good. And you're like a living embodiment of truth and a courageous person at that.
Thank you.
Let's talk last 2 minutes. What's going on? I mean, the children, you have tried to go to Texas. You couldn't get down there. Texas is a big state. It's good to have connections. If you get lost, like a country. It's as big as France.
I want to go to Tornado or El Paso because that's where the excitement is. Because I say excitement because as far as Trump is concerned, he thinks this is a funny game. We're talking about children here coming with their parents, seeking for a better life for themselves, like our ancestors did. So, and the Constitution allows that. It provisions for them to come and seek asylum. These are asylum seekers. The reason they're coming to our country is because we have reaped all the resources of this earth. We have, I don't know how to say it, lived well at the expenses of other countries. So now they're coming. They're looking for help. The drugs, whatever issues that we have caused in their country has impacted them to a level where they're risking it by coming here. The risk is great because what they're dealing with is this zero tolerance policy on immigration and Trump mentality when he sends soldiers, our military, to the border and to confront them. That's our taxpayer dollar. We shouldn't be using it in that way.
Patricia Okoumou, thank you very much. Last 20 seconds. How do people get in touch with you again?
PatriciaOkoumou.com, www.patriciaokoumou.com.
OKOUMOU.com, right?
Yes.
All right, great way. And we'll be there on the December 17th,
Yes.
8 a.m. at 500 Pearl
Come
Street,
early.
Federal Court. Come early,
Yes.
and we'll see you next week.
Thank you.